Tennessee, my friends. Tennessee.
Use any lane to take exit 1B.
We're taking exit 1B.
All right, it is Friday night. We have an emergency session tonight because we have some news. But before we get to the news, let's just level set. We just got back a few days ago from Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Sevierville, Lenny, Sevierville Golf Club. Thank you for letting us be those guys.
Yep.
We were officially those guys at the range. We had recording equipment everywhere. But we got the swing recordings. We get back, a couple days go by, and then we get to today.
Mm-hmm.
And Lenny hit the Titleist music. We get a text from our good friend, Alan. And Alan says, would you like a swing analysis from Michael Breed?
Because that's what we did immediately after.
We got some stats on Michael Breed. He's the 2012 PGA National Teacher of the Year. I used to watch the Golf Fix all the time, the show he had. He's now on XM, Sirius Radio. I think he did something for Golf Digest. Anyway, he's a big deal. So obviously we said yes.
Yep. And we immediately regretted it.
We sent him the swings. We sent him the swings today. We're supposed to hear back in a week or so. So
yeah, and this is probably a good point to discuss here, because I mean, we're into year 4 and we have not really shown our swings at all. I think there was like one down the line video of each of us back at the beginning of season 1, maybe we threw out on Twitter, but yeah, we did not anticipate having our swings critiqued by a guy who really knows what he's doing the first time they came out in public.
Let me ask you this. I feel like that was pretty much the best swing I could have put on camera. I
agree. Hey, look,
and you as well. And I still feel like we are going to get butchered. I feel like he's going to hammer us.
Yep.
And I know Michael Breed is a nice guy, but I just don't know. I'm nervous.
Yep. I'm nervous too.
We will be back whenever we get it back. We will be back. And I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to snap into focus. All right, we are now back.
Here we go.
The swings are in. I don't have anything else to say. Let's just jump in.
Let's go. Who's first here?
Let's give the honor to you. I honor you.
Okay.
As the 3-time perennial champion.
All right, I'm in. Michael Breed, be gentle. Let's go.
All right, Eli, I've looked at your swing, and it really is nice. There's a lot to like about this. This is a golf swing. I think you said you're a 5 handicap, which is beautiful work, trying to get to scratch, which I love the aspiration of all that. When I watch this, I see a lot of really good things here. The club goes back almost to parallel. It's beautifully planed. Great transition from the backswing to the downswing. I mean, this looks like a golf club that you really have a lot of confidence in. You make a good sequence. There's no real panic or anything like that, and the ball takes off on a good line with a very good launch angle. I mean, it's not only just starting on the line, but it's also a very, very good launch angle. It's getting up out of the camera lens. What I don't like is this right here. So when the club goes back here, what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to make what I'll call a small circle. Now I draw a circle. When the shaft is parallel to the ground, I want to be able to circle both the head of the golf club and the hands. You can see I have to draw a fairly large circle. Maybe that's a little bit bigger than it should be. Maybe it's that big, but it's still very, very, very broad. And the reason why that is that way is because when you take this club back, you almost lift your arms and hands up right here, and your body kind of rises up with it. It almost looks like you get set up and you have so much weight out on your toes that you're lifting your arms up and you lift your body up to get the club into motion. Watch how this works. Just see if you can see this. You see that right there? So the chest and the shoulders and everything rises up. The hands rise up. And now what you do is you keep the head of the golf club low and you start rotating the forearms and rotating the wrist. And when the club goes back to where it's parallel, that's where the head of the golf club is. It's back into your thigh or into your rear. Now, what we want to make sure of is that when we take the club back, that the head of the golf club and the handle of the golf club, if I'm right there to you, that they're kind of here. They're not over here in this fashion. So what that tells me is there's a tremendous amount of arm-hand activity at the start and not a lot of body rotation. And so what we end up getting in there is we end up getting a slightly horizontal set to the club. And what I mean by a horizontal set is this. When the club comes up to the top, we want it to set vertically. We want it to come down like this. We don't want it to come down and set this way. This is a horizontal set when it's moving along the line there. So watch what happens with you here. You come in here like this, and it's pretty good playing there, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of, you see how that's setting just a little bit horizontally there? And now what happens from there is you just haven't created a lot of rotation there. The arms have kind of run out. The chest isn't really turning anymore. You're just finishing your swing with your arms running off into your chest because there's nothing there to prevent it. Now, it doesn't go past parallel, which is great. I mean, it'd be one thing if you'd be in real trouble if it went past parallel. And I don't know what you've worked on in your swing prior to this. It may have been that your swing was a little bit longer than parallel and you've worked on shortening it. I don't know. But what I do know is that this position right here that you've gotten into is very, very good. And your timing and your sequence is good. It can recover from that. But when you start getting into swinging with irons, and not having the body rotation, your sequence is going to go off, your timing is going to go off, and that's where you're going to go off. So with the driver, probably hit that pretty well, fairly consistently. With the irons, that may be where you struggle. Get it in the fairway, you don't get it on the green, or you don't take advantage of a hole location that you should, or you can't quite control your distance, which might be another problem that you have. So when we start to see this motion, body hasn't really rotated fully in the backswing. You deliver this club beautifully on the line right here. And what you'll also notice is when you come into this strike, right past strike, that trail arm is a little bit more bent than I want to see it. I mean, a little bit straighter. I want to see it a little more bend. It's a little bit straighter than I want to see it. So it just tells me that you got a lot of arm activity, not a lot of body activity. And what I would tell you is that when you take the club back, I would focus on this. When you take this club back, what I would focus on is you can see how this is, the arms and hands are spinning up this way, like that. What I would focus on is I would take your Titleist head cover. I'd put this under your lead arm like this, and I'd get used to feeling the relation of your bicep, tricep to your rib cage or to your side, and I would want it to go like this. I wouldn't want it to go like this. So when I roll it out, that falls out. When I keep that in this connected position, just to here, that's all. What you can see in that position right there is the head of the golf club is on the target line side of the handle. So it goes here instead of going here. And so what we're getting is that little roll right there. And that means that the arms are working much more than the body is working. And when that's happening, now we start to really become reliant upon timing and tempo and all that other stuff, which again, with a driver, you're very confident and comfortable with. With the irons, you probably struggle with. So what I would tell you is do this drill. Maybe you want to get a nice head cover like this. I don't know. I love this head cover. It's kind of fun. But get yourself something, towel, golf glove, head cover, whatever, under there to get that handle working a little bit more, to get that body working a little bit more so that you're not lifting the hands and moving the handle up, you're actually moving the handle this way, and the head is responding to that instead of twisting it and going that way. Do that. I know that that 5 is going to get down to the scratch that you hope for, and I hope you have a wonderful new year. Enjoy the pursuit.
Well,
I got to tell you,
you got to be pleased with that.
I'm pretty happy with that. And let me just say, this is the exact feedback I needed, because my mind, when he was talking about the piece of my hands and the club head, and the club head not being outside my hands, it reminded me exactly of season 3 when I told you I have no confidence the first 3 feet of my backswing.
That's right.
And so this is it for me. The drill he did, with the head cover under the arm, this is my life for the next few months. It's where I need to live.
The thing that he said that I had never heard of, and I would have never caught in a million times looking at the video, was when he said that you picked up your shoulders and you're like before you even started the takeaway.
Yeah.
So have you ever done the head cover drill? Because that seems like that would definitely get rid of that.
Well, I've done it, but I don't know that I did it fully understanding the point of the drill, and specifically focusing on that club head being outside my hands. So I've definitely done it before, but probably not fully understanding why I'm doing it. So that was really, really helpful for me.
I love it.
So now the T flip goes to you. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right, Mike, I've looked at your golf swing. Let me tell you, I love this motion. There's so many things about what you do that leads me to believe that 6 handicap and your desire to get to scratch is really, it's legitimate. I mean, I honestly believe. Now, look, I don't know how you tack the golf course. I don't know really how you putt, short game, etc. So decision make, I don't know any of that stuff. But I would say, strictly from a standpoint of what I see in your motion, I really do think that you could be a scratch player if the other parts of your game are able to do so. Okay. Now, I'm going to just point out some things to you as we're watching this. First of all, this is a wonderful, wonderful motion. And this particular shot that you've sent in, the ball starts out straight and pierces the sky beautifully. I mean, it really does. Pierces the sky beautifully. Now, what are some of the things that I'm not enamored with about what is going on? You have to watch your swing a couple of different times, but there's just a little toss at the top of your swing. So you get to the top, and there's just a little bit of a toss here. There's not really a lagging of the club in the downswing. Just let it run for a little bit here, Greg. And what you're going to see, Mike, is you're going to see the head of the golf club kind of bounce up from the top of the swing, right up there. It's bouncing up. It's not dropping down. You're not creating a lag in this. You're kind of chucking that club head a little bit at the top. Now, what does that cause? Well, let's take you up to the top here, and as you start to go down, what you're going to see. Let me do this, because this is beautiful. I mean, there's so much to like right there. I know you're a Titleist guy, and I would say to you, love the Titleist bag, love the Titleist club head covers, love the everything. The only thing that kind of jumps off the page to me here that I'm not necessarily enamored with are these shoes right here. I don't know that's really what I'm kind of thinking you got that I'm liking. But what I would tell you is lose the Nike shoes, get some FootJoys. I promise you're going to be a very happy man. All right, now let me just draw a line right here. That is roughly where your rear is in the address position, and certainly that's where it is at the top of the backswing. Now, what we want to do when we come down into this is we want to maintain that hip depth. And when we start down with the lower body and maintain hip depth, now what happens is that you get some lag, and the head of the golf club, you're not losing the face. When you start telling me that you're hitting pulls and you're hitting blocks, that means the club face in a block is open, and in a pull, the club face is square to closed. So you're losing the face. Why do you lose the face? Because this little bitty bounce at the top, and then when this thing bounces at the top, now all of a sudden it slows the body, and you kind of ride out from underneath. So watch what happens when you ride out from underneath right here. Right in there. the body is doing some rotating, nice rotating, but now at strike, there's where you are. There's the backmost part of your hips in the impact position. There you are at address. You got about not quite from the seam of the pant, but almost all the way back to here. That's how far you're riding out. So there you are at address. There you are at impact. There you are at address. Let me go back to this. Address, impact. Address, impact. Address, impact. And so what does that do? It takes the shaft of the golf club and it stands the shaft up like this. So at address, your club shaft is here, and at impact, your club shaft is there. And that creates some problems. So what I'm telling you is the following. Keep doing what you're doing. Work on getting this club to lag in the downswing. Now, how do you work on that, getting to lag in the downswing? I'll help you with that in a second. And then what I want you to do is I want you to feel like, and maybe best to go to a 2 here, Greg, if we could, is when you come down, I want you to feel like your hips are staying back as you come in instead of letting this go like that. All right? Now, let's go back over here to the root cause at the top. What is going to help you get some lag in this? Very simple drill. Here's what you're going to do. I call it pistol drill. You're going to hold the club with your normal grip, and then I want you to take your index finger and your thumb off. So when you look this way, both this index finger and this thumb are both on the right side or the trail side of the shaft, like that. And then what you're going to do, and we'll go for a 2-shot here, Greg. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make a swing, and you're not going to let this wrap around. So you're going to go like this. And what's going to happen to you is you're going to feel a lagging of the golf club as it comes into the strike there, and then that's going to help you get your body to work properly. And then from there, you just work on making sure that your hip stays back. And a simple drill that you can do is just get up against a wall, put your tail up against a wall, and then just make motions and really feel like your left hip, your lead hip, is staying on that wall. And that's going to help you with that beautiful golf swing. Really, a little bit of work away, and I'm telling you, you're going to be much more consistent. The reason why you feel like you should be scratched is you go out there and you play great golf. Maybe even shoot under par. Certainly, you shoot under par for 9 holes. But then all of a sudden you can't keep it together. And the reason why you can't keep it together is not because of your mind. It's because of these little flaws, these 2 little flaws. And those little flaws are making it inconsistent for you when you go. And you're just going to hit some bad shots. Maybe you're going to hit one out of bounds or whatever. And all of a sudden you're going to shoot 75. And you go, man, I could have shot 71. Yeah, you can. And you will when you make these changes, all right? Mike, best of luck to you and Happy New Year.
Ooh, man. Hey, that he had a lot of good stuff there. What'd you think?
He had a lot. Michael, thank you. He had a lot of nice things.
Yep.
Very, very flattered by the kind words. 2 things I would say. 1, the toss at the top.
Yeah, that was. I had to look at least 3 or 4 times at that to even catch it.
Yeah, I would have never caught that in 1,000 years. But the pistol drill, I'm very excited to work on that. I'll probably be working on that tonight in the Carl Weathers Learning Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the scary part. There's the part that.
Yeah, hey, can I just say, wait a minute, before you describe this, I'm dead serious. When that part came up, there's part of me that I could already visualize you being tempted to go to a dark place, because this is the move. I mean, go back to season 1 on the range in Myrtle. Like, this is the move.
And then go back to last season, it's the hip extension. It's the early hip extension. It's the same move that inspired me to cover the Leonard Cohen song and rewrite the lyrics.
It was the Bathsheba move. It just basically baited you off of the rooftop and said, come and look at this move.
That's what early hip extension does. It just bathes on the roof, and it says, Mike, come look at me. Come be tempted to fix me.
Look at me, world. Come look at me.
You cut your wrist. You said, hey, world, this is me. This is my blood. It's red.
This is my blood.
So love me. What he said that makes me want to get back on the horse and try it again, is his when he was talking about consistency, when he was talking about, especially when he showed the angle of my shaft at address, and then how it moves at impact. And he was like, listen, you can play a good 9 holes with this, but you probably can't play a good 18 holes.
Yeah. And by the way, he didn't, listeners, we didn't give any background. He had our swings.
No.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't listen to the show, but he had our swings and that was it. So he nailed your game to a T.
Yeah. Well, I need to think about that. But before we say anything else, again, Michael Breed, thank you so much for. Yes. We were not counting on. I didn't know how long of an analysis we'd get. I thought it would be like 30 seconds. I did not know that you were going to give us 6 minutes each.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right. Well, I know we have no more time tonight, but the next time that we talk, I've got 2 things. One, I got to talk to you about Adam. I had my first conversation with Adam last week, and then we're 4 days away from Christmas. We need some updates on the workout and diet plan.
It's a lot of sausage balls in between then.
And then people actually thought we were instructors at one point. They thought you were an instructor.
Said I could sign something that says I taught you something.
Yeah, I was wondering, should we admit what we told the guy?
Oh yeah.
Can we do that?
Go ahead, tell him.
No, you were the one that did it. I was just because I was swinging. You were instructing.
You should be swinging. You're an Adonis.
Get out there. Actually, Lenny, if you've got footage, one thing we found out, it is really, really hard to film dramatic slow motion footage of removing a head cover.
It really is.
Tell me when.
Go.
Get your left hand out. Okay, good.
Eli just said the words, I want to take a Bryce this week. Eli, tell us what you're thinking right now.
This is a swing. I don't even know that it'll make contact with the ball. But I want a swing that is a speed stick swing. And by the way, to tell you my confidence level, I put my nice new clean driver up and went to the
Oh, that looked all controlled. You finished up balanced? I'm very disappointed.
Extreme nailed it. I'm aiming this way.
He's aiming right of.
That's the nail I'm coming in.
I'm not going to name a political figure, but it's right.
Yeah, and by the way, can I give a special kudos to my wife for making the drive and just being the photographer. Who's a famous female photographer? There's one I'm thinking of.
Jane Goodall?
I have no idea. You could have said any name and I'd have probably said that sounds right.
No, she was the girl with the gorillas. She was Gorillas in the Mist. No, that was Sigourney Weaver. Hold on. No, Jane Goodall was the one.
It's that girl from the bus.
Into focus now. Your light just turned on when I climbed.
I know. What the heck was that? Alexa, podcast room off. That needs to be a blooper.
That's gotta be.